happiest moments in my life. The first was when I decided to go to work to communities, Indian community in my country, when I was 18. And in spite of that, I decided to leave the university, and I preferred to go to the university in the communities. Then that was a very, not only a small time, by 9 years, that was a very, very happy time because I learned too much from the rural areas in my country. That was one of the most happiest moments in my life.
But why did you choose not to continue this university, but go? There must be something in your childhood, maybe influence from the family.
But the influence in my family, because I am a daughter of two wars, you see. First from the Spanish war, because my father was a refugee of the war. He was a Catalan man. And when he comes to Mexico, Mexico opened their doors to him and to others, boys from Catalonia and from Spain. He works in Mexico some years, and after he was invited to go to Guatemala to found the public education print, and I was born there. But then another cup of stage, another war comes, and he again must to go as a refugee to Mexico, and then for second time Mexico opened their doors to my father, and now for my mother and me. And then he teach me to say thank you to Mexico and to work for Mexico. And then this is one. The other is that I was from the generation of '68 with the student movement, you see. Then you know that we're too many students, more than 400. It was a very, very important time for my generation to decide where we want to do, to change things in our world, in our Mexico. Then, in my case, I decided with some friends to go directly to work with communities in the basis level and to learn and to go with people, not a few or small group doing revolution, you see. Then that was the second reason. And we found a school, but not formal school for adults, to think together how to build another world. That's the beginning of my story, and I was very happy, very grateful for this opportunity in my life.
So what were you studying in 1968?
I began with literature, Spanish letters, Spanish literature, and after I changed to economy. That's the beginning, but I decided to go directly to communities.
Could you say something more about your involvement in the 1968?
Well, I was young. Then really, I only was in strike for 8-9 months. I began doing theater with my friends, but the collective was the interesting thing, to think together what could be better for change things. And then I live. And that's important. I was a part of a group that created this school, and they were older. We have a partner in the group that he was a director in the university, you see, in agrarian topics and agrarian economy. And he was our teacher at the communities. I was living in Indian community by 9 years. Very interesting. After that, I went to the north of my country, working in rural communities too. Then I have two visions, south and north, you see. And after 20 years, I returned to the center, to the city. And well, I began working with women. After my first 20 years, I began working with women I say that I began to see the world with the eyes of a woman, through the eyes of woman, and asking many things about why this kind of life with woman, with Indians woman, with rural women, with not equality, you see, and how in my country women, rural women, looks like the servants for society. I didn't agree with that, you see. Then we began to work by the empowerment of women, with the courage and the heart of woman. And I worked first as a national leader in a very big syndicate of farmers, but official could say syndicate. And I said, no, this is not good, because women leaders are the same that the men leaders. No, we need to go in a collectivity way. And after that, I promoted with another woman, of course, the National Network of Rural Women. By 8 years, I was the president of this network. We worked at very interesting topics, but we faced another big problem in my country, that is the problem of the government policies, you see, because yes, we have a democracy, we have another parties, but I thought it's the same with any party. The party arrives, the leaders of parties arrive to the government, and they fight by power, and they forgot what really we need in our country, and they use the money of government to give subsidies, but not really in a good way. It's a clientelar, we say clientelar way, can you understand? Then for the vote, and it had been coming a very bad process in my country, I think, it's my opinion, that destroyed the network in the society, and the social capital is destroyed. Many years ago, our communities works in a collective way, with the assembly deciding, looking for the best things in their own communities, but now, no. Different parties took their people, given money, and people learn quickly to ask for money, and this is not the way things. From more or less 5 years ago, I thought about another process. We want another process in 2011, and then we began with another people from different worlds as you, different countries, as you, to think in another way, to think about real sustainability, about this war, I say war, against the land, against our earth, against the planet. If we are women, rural women that love the earth, love the land, love food, love to produce, we need to care our resources, you see. Then we began another way, another path to work together, another dream to save our planet, our resources, to work producing with our own resources, not asking for money to government, carrying our process of empowerment, of course, working together with men in another language, with another topics about harmony, about to be happy together, and to produce healthy food for us and for others. We began another learning process, very interesting, very, very interesting. Maybe to recuperate the wisdom or the knowledge of the old fathers, the old people. And it's, I think we need to think about that. We are fighting against the big enterprises like Monsanto, that is another kind of imperialism, or I remember in '68 that as we talk about imperialism, about that, but no, it's another kind. And I'm happy, this is another very happy moment in my life, because I'm learning to produce energy with the waste, separate, to use other things, to see really how grown the fruit and the vegetables with our own compost, with the waste that we throw away, but that we need to use. And I began to learn about blue economy, and all that liked me very much, because in our national network as rural women, I was thinking, I was angry, I was not happy, because I say this is not the way to work. Why we need to be together only to ask for money to government? This is not a good way. And we are not developing our capabilities, we are destroying our capabilities, and that's a wrong process. And the third, maybe happy moment in my life is to share with you, to share with another woman, not only women of course, that are looking for this another path. We need to walk very much.
So you said that you went to work with the Indian communities.
Yes.
So where was it, and were there different outlooks, different ways of relating, and what have you learned from that?
Well, the first thing was the sense of collectivity. You see, the sense of a very important word that is compañero. You see, I said that, and now it's the same. You can feel in your skin the meaning of this word. You say, we are compañeros, we are in the same fight, but really with the spiritual sense. Fighting, yes, but in a spiritual sense, not mystical, but spiritual, to be together, to join. Then that was the first knowledge, the first thing. My father taught me about the word in Catalan that is seny, that is something like this, the sense of life, you see? Not only the sense of life, the sense of act in life. And in community, in that Indian communities, the sense of compañero is this one, it's inside, and to join and to be together, to work together. They work in a very special way, not all the Indian communities in my country, now it's forgotten in the majority, but the work, collective work every week to clean their community, to make the school where we were teaching, to support us. Each family, you can say poor family, but not the poorest is here. The poor family give us every day, 2 families, a little bit of sugar, a little bit of coffee, a little bit tortilla, and they collect that and send to support the teachers of their own school that we were. That's the second thing. For the fighting, because they were losing their land, their ancient land, because people from out comes to rove. They have, in every community, we were 3-4 communities together in a collective, in a big collective, in a federation. And each community works one parcela, one piece of land in a collective way, and all the cosecha, all that they pick up and they sold was for a fund. Then we have money in these times. That's another knowledge. The other was the courage against the different kind of troubles. In this occasion, I was married. My son was born there. The police disappeared my husband, you see, for many weeks. And all the communities come in a massive way to say we need to find and to fight for our compañero, because the army took him. And that's very, very interesting. And this feeling to be supported, to be with others, you know, it's very interesting. And in the modernity times, we are losing that. We have lost that. I think it's the worst lost, that we have this sense of community, this sense of go together, this sense of have a vision and a dream and to go together to get it. No? And my children, my son, was grew up there until 7 years. And I was happy for this too, because now he's a very nice man, sensible. He's working to help to be different. No? Yes.
And where is this community?
Sorry. These communities, well, I began in Oaxaca. All there was in Oaxaca, in the south of Mexico. I began in a region that is the region Mazateca. Maybe you hear someday about a woman that was a widow and that brings come to this community to eat mushrooms, Maria Sabina. She was from this region, from Mazateca, you see. Then I lived there for 3 years, far away from, without roads. And after, by 6 years, I was living in another region. It's Chinanteca, the Chinanteca, in a community that calls La Esperanza, after in another one that is Arroyo Blanco, and that's, but in Oaxaca.
So maybe you can just say a few words about how you are involved in the PeaceWomen Across the Globe project.
I don't know how. I don't know how, really. I was in Oaxaca. I was in Chiapas for a workshop with real women. From my office, my assistant called me. Hey, a girl is looking for you. I've been called many times because you have been nominated for the Prize Nobel. And I say, what are you telling? You're crazy. Maybe it's a mistake. Maybe for Miss Universe, isn't it? No joke. It's really true. No, you are crazy. You are confused. It's not possible. What the Prize Nobel? Then I come back to Mexico. She had made an appointment with this lady. She goes to talk with me about that. I say, what are you telling? Yeah, you were selected for. Why? At the beginning I didn't understood. Why me? But why? There's no reason. Why me? No. She explained to me that was a symbolic action to choose 1,000 women around the world, and that we only were a symbol, not exactly for our work. Of course, they selected because they asked, I don't know exactly. But then she asked me to give for more information, to make a kind of book. Then I began looking for, and then, my God, it's a long history. That was interesting because I could appreciate that, yes, I had not the best work, I don't think so, but interesting that you think about what you had been doing during, not 1 year ago, not 2 years ago, during, but 35 years. You see, so, well, the best it is that it's in the same line. That's a good thing for me. That was a good thing. And that's the first. Then I came to Switzerland because I was working on another topic, and I shared with some coordinators and I saw the exhibition, and I said, oh, this is very, very interesting thing. It's not easy. I think that the 1,000 women have a very, very hard way to walk. It's not only to be nominated. We didn't win the Nobel Prize, but to make visible the women. But I think 1,000 women movement as a movement we need to work so hard, and maybe we don't know exactly how to do that. I think this is the risk or the goal of this jubilee, to think together how, and there is not an answer. only one. We need to create more networks and to share. And what are you doing is very interesting because we need to promote, to give information, to have the wisdom to share with others. Yes.
Yes.